Hello, you guys. Today we are going to talk about the political stability in South Sudan. But before we started our program today, I want to say big up all Africans, big up Canadians, big up all South Sudanese, and big up all President Barack Obama, big up Paul Kagame in Rwanda, big up Sudanese President Salva Kiir, and big up Mr. Riek Machar. We love you, all of you, you guys. We love United Nations. I love all African Union, African unity. Today we are going to talk about very important topic. We are going to talk about something very important. I'm here today. My name, as usual, is Yasin. I'm going to talk about why there is political instabilities in southern Sudan. And also I will link that topic why there is lack of appreciation of diversity in Africa. What causes turbulence conflict, the turbulent Africa. Why there is always conflict in some of African countries. What causes this conflict today is our topic, hosted by Yasin, Afro Political Communications and Public Relations. I want to show you today what are the causes of conflict you see in Africa. Think about Nigeria, think about Southern Sudan, think about Uganda, think about Democratic Republic of Congo, think about Central African Republic of Congo, think about Northern Sudan, Khartoum, the Janjaweed soldiers. What causes this conflict in Africa? Think about Malawi, think about Tanzania, go down into South Africa. Everywhere you go, there is a lot of different conflicts. But today, our focus is going to look at the Dinka and the Nuer of Southern Sudan. Why do the Nuer failed to accept political adaptation? Why do the Dinka of Southern Sudan and the Nuer and other, take the general pictures, the entire continent, why there is a lot of conflicts that has resulted into thousands of displacements and others lost their lives? We have very good leaders, but we ask that questions today. Point number one, why there are conflicts? What makes lack of political diversity in Southern Sudan? Point number one, we are going to look at we shall look at the geographical, let us look at Africa in terms of geographical perspective. A lot of things that haven't been going well in Southern Sudan, it is because of the concept of geographical, whereby most of comparing these two tribes, the Dinka and the Nuer, they have been always accusing one another over the geographical positions, and then this has been very much the root causes of what you call the turbulent conflicts, everything that you have seen going just which haven't gone right. Yes, right. We are going to talk about that one. Second, we are also going to look at the political perspective. Why the Southern Sudan Dinka and the Nuer fought 50 years of war and today they are still fighting. The other time they fought against imperialism together with the entire Sudan, against the British and the Egyptians. And then after 1960, when they got the independence, the Dinka and the Nuer plus other tribes, they opened another conflict again. So this is what I want to address in a very concise and clear language. Look at all these areas, a lot of fans. We're enjoying Canada as usual. But point number one, why the Dinka Why the Dinka people of Southern Sudan, Dinka, they are the majority. Why do they hate fellow tribesmen of Southern Sudan, the Nuer, Bahar Gazelle, and all other tribes, the Akiori, the Langi, Bakuku, and other tribes? Dinka, their political domination is rooted from the traditional beliefs, culture. I will talk about that point later. But if you look at the Dinka and the Nuer tribe, they share different common geographical interests. Point number one, geographically. Dinka and the Nuer, they are all from what a tribe in a region known as, they can be found in Bahar Gazelle. That is point number one. Second, they are all farmers. The Dinka people, they are farmers. Nuer, they are also farmers. They grow different agricultural products for survival and for existence of other species in Southern Sudan. So they are farmers. Dinka, geographically, they are cattle keepers, and in Nuer, it's the same thing. Farmers, cattle keepers. Why do these people fighting? Land conflict, that's what I wanted to talk about. The concept of who own land in Southern Sudan, as you can see here, this area around here. The concept of Southern Sudan is the land, who owns the land. That is point number one. The all cattle keepers. Land is very, very important instrument in the culture of the Dinka people, because they have thousands of cows, cattle to take care of, and other animals, livestock animals. The Nuer, or the same thing in Nuer tribe, they are farmers. They need the land of Southern Sudan in order for cattle keeping, for taking care of other livestock. These struggles of common interest has resulted into a big problem in Africa. We are talking about Southern Sudan. The interest over land issues in Africa, with example in Southern Sudan, has left thousands of people lost their lives and displacement. And not only that, but sunk the continent into absolute poverty. And the result of this problem, imperialists taking over to control the black man, because the black man failed to unite. The black man failed to unite to protect the continent over the outsiders. And because of lack of this unity over the land questions, has sparked off the violences and conflict in Southern Sudan. Dinka believe that they are the masters of Sudan. They have control, they have everything about the resources and everything, the economy of Southern Sudan, then it is their, that is their role. Point number two, culture. No, I want to go to culture first. We're going to look at the tribal perspective. Let us look at the Southern Dinka and Nuer in terms of tribal perspectives. How do the attitude between one another, how do the Nuer and the Dinka view one another in terms of tribes and ethnicity? And how far can this cause the spark of conflict in Southern Sudan and even the entire continent? My point of view on this tribal perspective, the Dinka and the Nuer are all binded together as the Nilotics. You know, in Africa we have Nilotic Sea, Nile Hamite Sea, the Bantu people, the Lugbala. So these Dinka and the Nuer are all Nilotics. And they are people who come from equatorial, just in equatorial, meaning that some of them, they are farmers. They are people who are used to migrate and move one place by another, following the grass to feed their animals. So this problem, diversity, the concept of diversity, how should we understanding one another in terms of cultural perspectives and diversity, respecting the culture of one another, our ethnic groups turned into violences and conflict over the entire continent. So in Southern Sudan, example, Nuer and Dinka are all Nilotics. But apart from being Nilotics, they speak different languages. And apart from speaking different languages, they have intra-tribes, small ethnic groups inside. The misunderstanding and lack of cultural appreciation, diversity, lack of appreciating our diversity in these regions of Southern Sudan and other parts of Africa is the root cause of conflict. Root cause of conflict. Another point, I'm still bringing more. I'm still talking about different issues. Today I came to talk about the same issue we are looking at, the cause of the causes of turbulences and the causes of conflict in Africa, specifically in Southern Sudan. Point number 3, culture. In Dinka, they are cattle keepers. In Nuer, it's also the same thing, cattle keepers. There are even other tribes, but these are just examples. Both tribes are cattle keepers. The Dinka believe that a cattle, is a form of defense and political domination. Dinka believes that a cow is a form of defense and political domination, control political space over other existing tribes. By the way, Southern Sudan, it has just about 50 tribes in Southern Sudan alone. Think about the rich history, the rich diversity of this country, and think about lack of appreciation of our diversity. How it has sparked off thousands of people to lose their lives just because of we don't know one another, we don't respect one another, lack of understanding the culture of the other tribe and respecting it has tantamounted the conflict into the entire sub-region, sub-Saharan Africa. So this is the point in Southern Sudan. There is no lack of appreciation of culture of the other tribe. Dinka believe that they are the power, they were born with the power, they are there to control and hammering others. Of course, the Nuer, they cannot stand to watch the Dinka liberating in the entire country. They have to defend themselves. They have to look for political mechanism. The solution is to eliminate this problem. And as you know that Dinka, they can also people who are not ready to set up political negotiation. The conflict resulted into this region. So we can also think about the causes of conflict in terms of lack of respect of culture of other tribes in Africa, and the tribal mentality, the farm mentality in Africa has just sparked off the massive murder and kidnapping thousands of African people. And especially now, right now, as I said, that we are talking about just only one group, just the Bahal Gazero, or just the entire part of the Southern Africa. That is put it in order. Let us talk about another point, is the point of hegemonic power, hegemony in Africa and especially in Southern Africa, Southern Sudan. The concept of hegemony is the The collaboration, as you know, the imperialist, for example, the American hegemony, the British hegemony, Britain and America collaborated to control Africa and other Western nations, the Europeans. And at the same time, China also has vast interest in Africa. And then when it comes to southern Sudan, there is oil, there is resources. So these conflicts, China gonna support one side, the other side, the western side, they're gonna come in also to say, hey, you guys, what is happening? What is democracy? The issues of human rights, they have to check all these things. Yet also China is just digging deep to look out, just to make sure that communism should be accepted into southern Sudan. So this is where there is a trap. This is a trap where Africans have lost the way. They have lost the game. Salva Kiir may think that China is the best to get materials there, whereas the same thing, Riek Machar thinking that maybe the British or the Americans or the French people will be the best agency to use in terms of collaboration, is friendship of interest, cause the conflict in Africa. Coming back, I have talked about the conflict of interest, hegemony. Africa just has been married to the Chinese and the Russian, and at the same time to the Americans and the Western countries. Then there is no Africa. That's why there is still very hard for you guys to control, to take power and build a United States of Africa. Who killed Muammar Gaddafi? Yeah. This is Vancouver, the best city in the world. Who killed Muammar Gaddafi? Bingu wa Mtarikwa, Mary Sizinawi, and many others. Lack of understanding and appreciating the cultural diversity, collaborating with the friendship of interest, the hegemony, without any skills to get out of these friends. It has caused our continent, our people, not only southern Sudan, but other people around the world. I mean, African is all the entire continent to be controlled under a single or collaboration or friendship of different continents. What do we need to build Africa? It is very simple. If Africa want to grow, if we want to build southern Sudan today, it is very simple. If we want to develop southern Sudan today, it is too simple. Point number one, someone asked me this question. Yasin, do you think peace is possible in Africa? Is peace possible in Africa? I'm going to answer you, Jackson from Montreal. You asked me this question, Mr. Jackson from Rwanda, that peace, is it possible in Africa? Peace is possible. Solution is number one, strengthen leadership. I'm going to use Rwanda as an example. When you strengthen leadership, you can create stability. And in that way, you think about development. In Africa before colonialism, for example, there was cultural diversity. There's a lot of people enjoyed multiculturalism in Africa. Some, they came from different parts of the world. The indigenous Africans, we live with our kings together. We lived with the kings of Africa in a peaceful way, harmony, no matter whether you have money or not, but life was okay. There is no conflict. If we go back on that philosophy and we think about Mansa Musa, King Edward Mutesa, Frederick Mutesa of Uganda, King Justin Mutesa one of Uganda, King Rwabugiri of Rwanda, King Zulu of South Africa, Mwene Mutapa of Zimbabwe, and we think, what about the Egyptians? How do they control their nations before and became great nations in a peaceful way, without dollar? That time Africa never experienced any single dollar, any single penny. But today, where there is a dollar, where there is minerals, African son, African daughters, you kill one another. Lack of cultural diversity. Respecting the culture of different tribes in Africa. And as I said, that I'm focusing on Southern Sudan because it is a new created country. Second, we need to build our economy to be independent economically. Africa needs to be independent economically if we want to eliminate the problems of conflict. But if you look Africa today, we are depending at least 70% of African survival